The day was ordinary. The 24th of May, 2024. People woke up, made their coffee, and checked their phones. Then, the news alert hit screens across the world. It was a simple line of text, but it changed everything. SpaceX valuation crosses $2 trillion, making Elon Musk the world's first trillionaire. For a moment, there was silence. People read the words again. A trillionaire. The number felt unreal, like something from a movie. It was a number with 12 zeros, hard to grasp. The world had billionaires, hundreds of them, but this was a new level of wealth concentrated in one person's hands. The shock was instant and global. On news channels, anchors stumbled. On social media, the message exploded. Some celebrated it as proof of progress and ambition. They saw it as proof that big dreams could lead to incredible results. Others felt unease and anger. They asked how one person could hold so much while many struggled. The number became a symbol. For some, the peak of technological achievement. For others, a sign the system was deeply broken. This wasn't just another rich person story. It felt like a fundamental shift. $1 trillion is bigger than the GDP of many countries. It could solve problems like hunger or the lack of clean water many times over. The news forced everyone to stop and think. It wasn't just a financial headline, it was a societal event. It didn't come from Wall Street. It came from the quiet world of private space exploration, once run by governments, now dominated by a single company. So, the biggest question in the world became, how? How did a rocket company become so valuable? It was a private venture, once on the brink of failure. How did it create a trillionaire? This wasn't a story of old money. This was a story of new money. It started with a simple idea, making rockets reusable. For decades, rockets were used once and then thrown away. SpaceX changed that. By landing and reusing their rockets, they dramatically lowered launch costs. This breakthrough opened up a universe of possibilities. The answer lies in a chain of events. The technology came first. Reusable rockets were just the beginning. Then came Starship, and then there was Starlink, a network of thousands of small satellites providing global internet. These technologies became powerful businesses. SpaceX won huge contracts from NASA to carry astronauts to the ISS. Starlink began generating billions in revenue. Millions of subscribers gained fast internet. But technology and business are only part of the story. The journey from company value to personal wealth is another crucial piece. Elon Musk owned a huge share of the company. As SpaceX's private valuation rose, so did the value of his shares. SpaceX's value was set in private funding rounds, not public markets. Each success, each launch, pushed valuation higher and higher. We'll examine the risks. We'll examine the investors. We'll examine the financial mechanics. This is about more than one man or one company. It is about what happens when technology moves faster than society. It raises questions about who benefits from these advances. Who gets to decide the rules for our future in space? What does it mean for one person to have more wealth than entire nations? Is this the ultimate success of capitalism or a warning sign? The story of the first trillionaire is not just about the past. It is about the future arriving right now. With the problem of reusable rockets solved, SpaceX had a powerful and cost-effective way to get to space. But launching satellites for other companies was just one part of the plan. The next step was to use this launch capability to build something even bigger. This project was called Starlink. The idea was ambitious: to create a global internet service beamed down from space. For billions of people living in remote areas, fast and reliable internet was still a dream. The plan involved launching a massive constellation of thousands of small, interconnected satellites into low Earth orbit to provide high-speed internet coverage to nearly every corner of the planet. Because SpaceX could launch its own satellites so cheaply, it had a huge advantage. It began launching batches of 60 satellites at a time, creating mesmerizing trains of lights that moved across the night sky. Early versions of the service were offered to a limited number of users, who reported surprisingly fast speeds. This proved the technology worked and the demand was real. Starlink quickly transformed from an ambitious project into a serious business. The company started taking pre-orders from around the world. Hundreds of thousands of people signed up. They paid a monthly fee. They paid a one-time cost for the satellite dish, Dishy. The revenue started to flow, and it grew quickly. Financial analysts began to model the potential. They predicted that even a small share of the global telecom market could mean tens of billions in annual revenue. It was becoming the main event, the key driver of SpaceX's future valuation. The success of Starlink changed how investors viewed SpaceX. It was no longer just a launch provider. It was now a global internet service provider with a recurring revenue model. A telecom analyst noted, Starlink changed the entire financial narrative for SpaceX. It gave them a clear, long-term path to enormous profitability. This predictable, scalable income stream made the company incredibly attractive to investors. It became the second major pillar of the business, pointing toward a truly astronomical valuation. With reusable rockets lowering costs and Starlink promising massive future revenues, SpaceX became a magnet for money. The company needed huge amounts of capital to fund its ambitious projects, especially the development of its next-generation rocket, Starship, designed for missions to the Moon and Mars. However, unlike most large companies, SpaceX did not sell its shares on the public stock market. Instead, it chose to stay private. Its valuation was set during private funding rounds, where large investors, venture capital firms, and private equity funds were invited to buy shares directly from the company. Every 6 months to a year, news would leak out that SpaceX was raising more money at a higher valuation. The numbers kept climbing at a breathtaking pace. Each funding round was oversubscribed. This intense demand was fueled by the company's relentless execution. Every successful rocket landing, every Starlink launch, and every new contract with NASA served as proof. Winning the commercial crew contract to fly American astronauts to the International Space Station was a major turning point. It showed that the US government trusted SpaceX with its most precious cargo. These government contracts were worth billions of dollars. As one financial journalist put it, NASA contracts were like a government seal of approval. It told private investors that this company was not just a speculative bet, it was a core part of America's space program. This entire system created a powerful feedback loop. Technological success drove up the private valuation. The higher valuation allowed SpaceX to raise more money. That money was then reinvested to accelerate technological development. It became a money machine. By staying private, Elon Musk and the management team retained tight control over the company's direction, avoiding the short-term pressures of public markets. This allowed them to make huge, long-term bets on projects like Starship. The private nature of SpaceX was a key ingredient in its journey to an unbelievable valuation. The final step is connecting the company's massive valuation to the founder's personal wealth. It came from company structure and finance. Elon Musk was not just the CEO and chief engineer, he was also the company's largest shareholder. He founded SpaceX in 2002 with his own money after selling PayPal. As SpaceX raised money, his ownership percentage decreased, but he kept a very large stake. His net worth was directly tied to SpaceX's private valuation. As the valuation climbed, Musk's shares rose with it. 200 billion valuation, his stake 84 billion. 500 billion valuation, his stake all year 210 billion. These were paper wealth numbers from private funding rounds, not public tickers. This wealth wasn't liquid cash, but it was real. The pivotal moment, valuations made massive leaps and crossed 2 trillion, driven by full deployment and profitability of Starlink and successful Starship test flights. Starship opened the door to bigger contracts, building moon bases for NASA. Investors saw control of launch and in-space communications and pushed valuations skyward. At 2.4 trillion, Musk's 42% was worth just over 1 trillion. That figure was set by a private funding round, not a public market. A trillionaire was created not from cash, but from value assigned. It was a fortune built on ownership and projected breakthrough value. Reusable rockets and global internet service provided the foundation. Private funding let the valuation grow without public scrutiny. A large concentrated ownership stake turned corporate value into an unprecedented individual fortune. So we come back to the central question: who truly benefits? On one side, the argument is clear. The relentless drive of SpaceX has dramatically lowered the cost of accessing space, unleashing a wave of innovation. This progress, supporters argue, benefits everyone. In this view, the immense wealth accumulated is simply a byproduct, a fair reward for creating immense value and taking on risks no one else would. It is the engine of progress at work. On the other side, a deep and growing unease. This perspective argues that extreme concentration of wealth and power is dangerous. It allows a single, unelected individual to command resources greater than most nations, leaving the rest of the world to deal with the consequences. This is not a story with a simple hero or villain. The trillion-dollar milestone is a mirror, reflecting our own conflicting values and our deepest hopes and fears for the future. We are a species that dreams of reaching for the stars, that celebrates bold vision. We are also a species that struggles with fairness, with justice, and we face the challenge of building a world where progress does not leave billions behind. Therefore, the story leaves us not with an answer, but with a choice. The technology that created this wealth is here. The path to space is open. Now, we as a society must decide what we do with it. Do we celebrate the result and continue down this path, hoping the benefits eventually trickle down to all? Or do we seek to change the rules, to ensure that the wealth of the cosmos is shared more broadly, even if it means slowing the pace of exploration? There is no easy path forward. The only certainty is that the decisions we make now will define the future of humanity, on this planet, and on any others we may one day call home.